Alright, in this video I'm going to talk about how I was able to work with a tourism board as a travel photographer. So, let me explain how I got the gig. So how I actually got the gig is I actually reached out to Taiwan Tourism. So I reached out to the Taiwan Tourism head office in Australia, right? So I pretty much reached out for them for like any future collaboration or any opportunities. And then they got back to me and saying like, oh yeah, we'll let you know if there's any future opportunities or any collaboration. But then a few weeks later, they got back to me and saying they have a film trip, right? For the Taiwan Lantern Festival, and would you be interested into it? And I'm like, hell yeah, of course I'll be interested into it. So it was basically like a 7-day trip. So I pretty much went to Taiwan for 7 days. So it was like 6 days. And we pretty much start off in I think Taipei. So we went to Taipei in the first day. And then later on where we went to Tainan for the Lantern Festival. Want me to make content for it, like the Lantern Festival. So went to Tainan. So Tainan's like kind of in the west coast of Taiwan, I believe. It was pretty much like, it was pretty cool. Like it was a pretty cool experience. Like I saw like them line up the dragon because I think it's the year of the dragon this year, I believe so. And then like it's a cool celebration. Like we saw the people like celebrating. It was crowded, you know. Like I was tired on that day. And then I'm pretty sure later on down the week we went to the countryside of Taiwan, which is like, I don't remember the exact spot. I'll put it up on the screen. But anyways, we went along that area. And like the mountains are really nice, like it's really beautiful. Like the countryside of Taiwan is really beautiful. You know, like I think the hotel I was staying in is like, I was staying in like some 5-star hotel actually. It was like, I think it was like $450 USD like per night. That's how fancy. And then early in the week, I know I might be ranting off here actually a bit. Like after when we went to Taipei, right? We went to town where they had like a hot spring spa. It was pretty fun. Like it had a hot spring spa, like what it feels like being a tourist. And yeah, it was a cool experience how I was able to work with a tourism board. Like it was, I don't want to say it was a free trip, but it's pretty much like they just want me to make content for the tourism board, like share my experiences of like what does Taiwan is like towards my audience who are into photography, or they just want like a unique perspective of like myself, what it feels like going to Taiwan as a photographer, basically. So yeah, and then like the people I was with, right, I was with a group. So I was with a group with journalists, pretty much like write articles about like the Lantern Festival in Taiwan. So that's what they were there for. And I was pretty much there to capture my experience about Taiwan and share that towards my audience. I think that was pretty much what it was. Like the reason why I'm able to get the gig is because they just want like a different person showcase their experience of what's it like going to Taiwan as a photographer. I think that's the whole point. And since I have a big social media following, they just want to share my experience and share it to my audience. Like, so that's pretty much how I was able to get this gig basically. And it was pretty cool, honestly. Like for someone who's like always want to work with a tourism board or always want to like be a travel photographer, it was a bit of a dream come true, because like I never thought I'd be in a position where I'll be able to work with a tourism board, because I mean like a year ago I almost died from a rock incident. Anyways, that's another story, another video I can talk about, which I do have that video up down somewhere in my channel. So yeah, like that's how I was able to work with a tourism board, and it was pretty sick. You're probably wondering like, was this paid or was this... It wasn't paid, but they pretty much were able to cover all my expenses to create content for the Lantern Festival in Taiwan. That's pretty much what it was basically. So pretty much like they weren't really like fuss about like how many deliverables I have to make, like such as they didn't like say like, oh I need to like give out like 10 photos or 7 reels. They just want me to make content about the Lantern Festival in Taiwan. And now you're probably wondering, how can you work with a tourism board and how do you manage to get there? Well, all I can tell you from my personal experience is you got to put yourself out there, because if you put yourself out there, you never know, like you could potentially work with these big tourism boards or these big brands. Like for example, if you put yourself out there by uploading content or reaching out, then you could potentially work with a tourism board or work with like big brands like Sony or even National Geographic if you're lucky enough. But obviously you have to put yourself out there in that sense. Like for example, if I didn't reach out for the Taiwan Tourism Board, right, I don't think I would have gotten the gig. I don't think I would have gotten this opportunity, because I've reached out to them and they saw my content and they liked it, and they're pretty much like, oh yeah, sure, we should get him to come along. Pretty much how I got this gig is I put myself out there, because if you put yourself out there, you never know, you might have other opportunities that might come by your way. Because when you upload your content, right, on social media or anything, you don't know who's watching the content. It could be like Sony marketing manager watching your content, or it could be a tourism board watching your content, like, or even just reaching out. Like if you reach out, you never know, that might be a perfect time to actually work with your favorite tourism board. So that's probably what I would say, is putting yourself out there. You know, like I'm not saying that you need like a big social media following to work with like brands. You know, there's people out there who do work with big brands or tourism board without social media following. Like the reason why they're able to work with them is because they work with like a lot of agencies. So like my opinion, if you want to work with tourism boards or a lot of these big brands, it's also good to reach out to the agencies, because I think agencies, because a lot of these tourism boards, a lot of these big brands work for agencies because they're part of a lot of agencies for like content creation or photography content or videography content. So reach out to the agencies. That's what I would actually absolutely recommend if you want to work with these tourism boards. So I hope you gained some sort of insight what I learned from working with a tourism board, and yeah, I hope this inspires you, because like I'm just a dude who just likes to go out and take photos. That's who I am. Like I'm not special to you, so I'm just a normal guy. So yeah, I hope you gained some sort of insight out of this, and if you gained some sort of value out of this video, you can consider subscribing if you want to follow my travel photography journey. And yeah, I hope you learned something.